Real quick, I've started doing something a little bit new. Who got an offer accepted this past week? All right, Farrah, get up here.
No, I didn't want to come
Oh, come on. Get up here. Give her a round of applause. All right, well, where did you, what was it? Is it on?
It's a mobile home in a park.
Okay.
What else?
How'd you get it? Like,
how did I get it?
where'd the lead come from? Like,
I do have a relationship with a wholesaler. I've bought 3 from him already since August, and he always sends me deals, and I make offers, and sometimes it's not what he wants, and so he sent this one across my desk, and he actually only sent it to me because he knows I buy in that park. And
nice.
Yeah, so I just said yes.
So what did he want for it?
And Evan's right there looking at me with a glare. Just kidding. Hey, one's in escrow.
Wait, was he the wholesaler?
No.
Oh,
no.
all right.
He told me I need to start selling some before I buy more. So I am selling one.
Yeah,
so
you
I
got
picked
some
up
coming
one.
into escrow. So.
And then what was the?
All right. So like, what did he want for it?
Well, he wanted 60,000, and it worked at 60.
Oh, so you gave him what he wanted?
Yeah.
Oh, you made him happy. That's like the best thing you do to a wholesaler is pay their asking price.
Yeah, I've done several deals with them. The number's penciled, even if I put 50,000 into it. It's in Eastvale, so I mean everyone knows Eastvale is a popular park. I've done 10 deals in there now, so it's
cool.
I know the numbers there, and I'm comfortable, and it was just a no-brainer for me.
Did you meet the wholesaler here?
Miguel tagged me in another post that they were selling a wholesale, and that's where I bought the first one, and then since then I bought 3 more from him.
So another member.
And I have invited them, and they do want to come, but they're busy flipping and wholesaling themselves too.
Right on. Well, so another member like introduced you to this guy. You eventually got a deal out of it.
Yes.
Cool. Right on.
Thank you, Miguel, wherever
he
he's
is.
not here.
All right, give her another round of applause. Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else get an offer accepted this week? Now they don't want to come up. Anybody else want to rat somebody out that got you? Come on, guys, this isn't something to be embarrassed about. Who knows somebody that got an offer accepted this week that's in the room?
Me.
You got an offer accepted?
Yeah.
All right, come on. Come on.
Hello, guys.
What's your name?
My name is Ricardo Felix.
All
My name is
right.
Richard.
It's his first day.
First day. I accepted an offer from a wholesaler in a park in Bloomington.
All right. Another mobile
In a
home?
park, 55 plus.
Okay, what did he want for?
I'm looking to get 135.
No. What did he want for?
Oh, he wanted 75.
What'd you pay?
75.
All right. Man, we got to talk about your guys' negotiation skills here.
Price 50. Tried 50, but he didn't.
He wouldn't budge?
Nope.
Not even 70?
Not 70. Because the seller was set at.
All right.
The seller was set at 75.
All right. Good stuff. Where'd you meet the wholesaler?
I bought 2 mobile homes from the same wholesaler in the past.
Where'd you
year.
originally meet him, though?
I think I met him at the Mission Inn on one of those meetings. And I bought the first mobile home in Victorville on land, which I turned into an ADU in the front.
Cool.
And I bought one in La Cadena Mobile Home Park. That was the second one. And now this one is the third one.
Right on.
After I took Andy's class.
After you took Andy's class?
Yeah, I need to take a few more time to understand a little more. I'm at 10% right now.
Right on. So what were you getting at Home Depot today?
I was returning some hoses and buying some crap.
Right on. We ran into each other at the paint desk at Home Depot today. So, cool.
Thank you very much.
We'll give him a round of applause. Good job. Anybody else? Anybody make an offer this week? No? All right, you sure? You made an offer? All right. You think it's going to get accepted? No? Yeah, me neither. I made like 3 offers. And hey, but you're making offers. That's the important thing. All right. So yeah, I just want to start bringing people up here that are. Luis, did you close that one yet? Friday? All right. Cool. So just bringing people up here. Recognize that we're all out there working, networking, making offers. is the very important one. Getting them accepted is also nice. We'll talk about the negotiation stuff a little bit later. But it doesn't matter. If you're happy and they were happy, I guess we'll let that one slide. So, all right. Well, welcome to the Fire Center, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Rich. I'll be presenting here tonight, but a couple of quick updates, announcements before I get to that. One, just a quick disclaimer. Everything in here is always recorded. Okay, we have cameras up for security, and we also have cameras up for that we record all the meetings and put them onto YouTube later. Okay, so if you are supposed to be somewhere else, sit in the back left corner or the back right corner or way up front. You'll be out of the lens of the camera. Okay. But if you do have an issue with that being recorded, being on film, unfortunately, I can't turn the cameras off just for you, so you need to leave. That's your exit right there, okay? If not, love to have it, okay? For those of you that don't know, we do have a bunch of sponsors that sponsor this place. If you're a sponsor, raise your hand. Evan and I here tonight. All right, let's give us a round of applause. So, all we ask is you guys give our sponsors a chance first if you need any of their services. Escrow companies, design companies, solar companies, security systems. Lee there did the security system for the club, and financing and stuff like that. So you can check them out on the website. Just click the big old sponsored button at the top of the website, or you can just do /sponsors right there, or scan that code and check them out. Again, they pay to help support this place, okay? And if you don't know, this place costs about $12,000 a month. So they pay a nice little chunk of that. So I'd appreciate it if you guys at least give them a call first and give them a chance to earn your business, okay? Also, who came on the cruise in February? All right. It was a lot of fun. We went for a 4-day to Ensenada. We all had a lot of fun. You can see that picture up there at the front. That's all of us on the cruise in February. So we're going to do it again. February 3rd to the 7th, we're going to go to Ensenada again. We're also going to add Catalina, a day in Catalina on that one. And then we're going to Alaska next year in September. Okay, both of those are next year. Okay, don't try and get on the boat in September this year. Okay, we won't be there. Okay, so if you want to check out more information on that, you can go to firevoyager.com. It'll take you right to the website with more information on it. They do have deposits that you can put in now. They are 100% fully refundable until like 2 months before we sail. Okay, so you have all that time. You can make payments also throughout that time. You don't have to pay the whole thing up front. Okay, and for those of you who've never been on one of these cruises, we have speakers that speak throughout the cruise. We have networking every night at dinner. It's a really good opportunity to meet people outside of here and do more activities than just the regular networking we do in here. Also, the speakers tend to, we don't have any cameras on them or anything like that, so we get a little more candid with what we can say. Okay, so it's a great time. Check them out. Okay, and with that, that's me. So again, my name's Rich Rice. This is Mindset Focus, fourth Wednesdays, every single Wednesday here in the club. Tonight we're going to talk about deal hunting, specifically the mindset of deal hunting. Okay, and we'll get to it. So, my quick background here, I started flipping and wholesaling in 2017. I don't know, somewhere upwards of 120 deals at this point. Housing, I've been a housing provider, landlord since 2020. I bought my first rental a week before they closed down the world. And I was really nervous, but I came to this club, and the people that used to run it before I did, asked me what my interest rate was. I told them there was a 2 in front of it, and they pretty much smacked me and said, buy the house. So I bought the house, and I have a lot more now. Okay, I have 11 doors currently. They're all long-term rentals. At one time, I dabbled in short-term rental, mid-term rentals, all that good stuff. I decided that I was way too damn busy to deal with that many people. I like the people, my long-term stuff, a lot better now. Okay, I purchased the club in 2021 from the previous owners. Back when we were still going to the Mission Inn and once a month, and decided instead of just doing one big event every month, we do like 13 little ones. At the time, I thought that was a great idea. No, it still is a good idea. I like having our own place and not having to deal with the Mission Inn for those of you that ever had to deal with the Mission Inn or any of the other places that we used to go to. Some of them were really good, some of them were a pain in the neck. So, but we decided to get our own place, and we founded this place in 2023, in January of last year. Okay, so, and then before that I had a mixed career of sales. Before real estate, I used to sell Hardy Backer and people. I used to be a recruiter, so I sold people, which I did. I literally, my job was to like take people and sell them to the manager. I literally sold people. So, and then I made a spread on their labor, which was crazy. So, anyways, I also went to Arizona State and got my bachelor's in business at some point. Okay, but most of what I learned from the jobs I had. I really was just doing the bachelor's thing because my mom told me I had to go to college my whole life. Even though she denies that now. Another sponsor, Mr. Steve Lazarson. Okay, and some pictures of us. That's me and my girlfriend, Caitlin, up here in the corner. And us again there, our RV that we're taking. We bought last year, we're gonna take it on another trip this year. And then that's me, Evan and my mom right there in the middle. That was after we did our first deal, which is actually at the Mission Inn. That was in 2017. We went to dinner to celebrate. I think it was a wholesale. We made like 30 grand on.
I just remember the 30 grand. I don't remember.
There's something in LA we wholesaled to.
Oh yeah.
We wholesaled to. Probably Daniel. Thank you. So yeah, it's been a fun, crazy ride since then. Once upon a time, I used to race motorcycles back when I was cool, but not anymore. And yeah, so I've been to Greece, horseback riding in Mexico, a lot of fun. And then that's not a real bazooka. I really wish it was. All right, current projects. I'm in the middle of 7 flips with some partners that are here in the room, Mr. Carl and Farah over there. We're doing 7 mobile homes all at once in Paris. We're just about done. We did all of them in 10 weeks, all 7 of them, from start to finish, basically 7 houses in about 8 weeks, and then it took us about 2 weeks to finish. So they're all about to hit market here in the next week or 2. So that was a lot of fun. I'm doing 1 mobile home in Crestline at the moment, which, funnily enough, I bought at the same time we bought those 7, and it's not even close to being done. So my contractor on that one's a little bit slower. He's probably got a few weeks left. Or he says he's got a couple weeks. I think it's more like a month. But, wouldn't be the first time I disagree with my contractors. All right, rentals. I have 1 vacancy. I'm going to have 2 vacancies. I just got a text from my longest term tenant that he's taking a job offer in another state, which is bittersweet because he's about $400 a month under market at the moment. I put him into that unit before I learned all about having built-in rent increases in your leases, which I talked about last week or earlier in the month. So I have 2 vacancies, I guess, coming up. ADUs, I'm working on a JDU and 1 ADU conversion. I'm converting that house right there into 3 units up in Running Springs. I'm in the middle of they just scanned all of it. They're in the middle of doing the plans. So I have that going on, and I'm also permitting other houses that I have that are on non-conforming ADUs, so those are all getting converted. And then in my free time, I run this place, and those 13 events a month. Yes?
What's a JADU?
A JD ADU or a JDU is a junior ADU. Okay. So it's typically under 500 square feet. So you can have 1 ADU and 1 junior ADU. Some people can say you can have 2 ADUs now on a property, depending on which jurisdiction and how well you can argue it in front of the building and safety people. But typically 1 ADU and 1 JDU on a property. The JDU is the smaller one, which is typically like an efficiency type of unit. But doesn't necessarily have to be. So, but yeah, ADUs are a whole thing. So that's the cabin I just finished in Twin Peaks. That was a fun one. I bought it for $90. I put $130 into it, and then it appraised for $440. And I took a $230 loan out against it, so I left like $30,000 in it. And I'll only cash flow like $200-300 a month for now. but it'll slowly grow over time. But I have a ton of equity in it now, so which is nice. And then I don't know what else is on here. That's the mobile homes. That's the mobile home Crestline. Electrical swap in Paris, and a bunch of other pictures from Paris too, I think. Yep. So, all right. Also, if you haven't heard or haven't watched it, I have a podcast. It's called the Fire Chat Podcast. You can go to firechatpodcast.com, or you go to YouTube, Spotify, Apple, whatever. Watch all those, or you can scan that code. I am looking for guests. Elle's going to be my next one. Let's give her a round of applause. You got to do it now. She was still on the fence, but she already got the applause, so you're coming. So, but yeah, always looking for more guests. So if you want to come chat with me on it, I really want to get. There's a lot of podcasts out there that talk about, high level, really high level guys that are millionaires and stuff now. I really wanted to get a more personal side of things for people like you that were actually doing it, part of the club, and either in your first couple deals or thinking about it, and kind of your path, the more real, I guess, human side of the real estate. Okay, so you can come out, appreciate it. And quick show of hands. We're gonna get into some finding deals. Quick show of hands. Who wants more deals? Okay, those of you that did not raise your hand. You got plenty? Oh, you, Louie, you didn't raise your hand.
Well, you said more. I don't have any right now.
Well, all right, fair. Well, more is, there's a number greater than 0. All right, so we all want more deals, right? Who has lots of time but little money? Okay, good. So my point of this presentation is we're going to be talking about well, hang on, I'll get there in a second. Who has money but no time? So who feels like you could put some money out there for marketing, but you just don't have the time to really put that marketing together or follow up on those leads? Okay. So a handful of you. Okay. Who has nothing? You don't got time. You don't got money. You're just broke and busy as hell. Okay. Oops. So we're going to talk about that. So I feel like I've been to a lot of these kind of find a deal presentations, and they're all great, but I wanted to do one that kind of focused more on these type of things. So these, if you're one of these people, you fall in one of these categories, and try and say, hey, well, if I was this, then I do this. If I was this, then I do this. So that's how we're going to present tonight. Okay. So before I get to that point, though, who's heard of a sales funnel? Okay. Where's my Fire Fast people at? All right. Look familiar? Some of this might look familiar to you. Okay. So sales funnel, if you never had a sales job, basically you want to, when it comes to leads and when it comes to closing deals and stuff like that, you want to have a huge funnel. Okay. You have a funnel that's capturing a lot of stuff, and you're whittling it down into deals. Okay. Because truth be told, not every single person that calls you, you're going to be able to turn. Okay? There's something called the 20% rule, or the 80-20 rule, or the bell curve. Anybody ever heard of stuff like that? Okay, what that essentially means is if you have 100 leads, 20 of them are probably going to maybe have a chance. Okay? And then 20% of that are going to actually, you're going to get there, and then 20% of that you're going to actually close. Okay? So you got to be having a lot of deals coming in to basically funnel down into those deals. Now, of course, this is all guidelines, okay? Once you get better at this stuff and you dial in your marketing, your 20% is probably going to go up, okay? But the idea is when you're starting out, or if you don't already have your systems set up, you need to make that funnel very large to have a chance at getting a deal, okay? So, and to build that funnel, basically people are going to go through 4 steps, okay? So awareness, interest, decision, and action. So you want to try and make people aware of you, hey, I exist. That's going to be your networking, you're sending out mailers, that kind of stuff. And then they're going to be interested. Maybe they'll put you're they put your thing on the refrigerator, and you don't even know that's happening, but it happens. Okay, and then they're going to decide that, okay, I'm gonna sell, and then they're actually gonna sell. Okay, so sellers go through funnels, and then you as the salesperson or the buyer need to build a funnel for those people to go through. Okay, does it make sense? Any questions there? Okay, so before I get to, we're gonna jump into where to find these deals here in a second. Before I get to that, when you're reaching out to these sellers initially, when you're breaking down their doors, okay?
It works.
Or you're standing outside their window going, I'll buy your house. All right, so when you're reaching out to these sellers, like I put a call script in, so for you members, it's in the members resources, I just added it. Okay, for me, it's the only call script that I think you're gonna ever need. Okay, you ask people one question. They say that they want to sell their house, and you ask them why. Why do you want to sell your house? And then you shut up. Okay? Who's had a call script before? Who's had somebody, okay, better question. Who's had somebody call you when you could tell that they were reading off a call script? Was it a riveting conversation that you were just like, oh yeah, ask me more? No? Probably not. That's because call scripts suck, in my opinion. Okay? So my call script is basically, it's very simple. Okay, like I said, you ask them one question, why, and then you just let them talk. Okay, and then you ask more questions, why. And I don't care if they want to, they turn the conversation to their granddaughter who loves, I don't know, basket weaving. Okay? You are now the most interested person in basket weaving that has ever existed. Okay? You just keep asking, oh, that's great. Why? Oh, why does she love that basket weaving? Oh, yeah. Okay? And generally be interested. Like, be curious in people. Okay? Like, it will help you out. Who was at Firefest again? Were you guys at it's every single meeting. But when we were sitting outside, what was that? The chicken place. Cane's. Raising Cane's. And Evan got a call from a seller. Yeah. Do you remember what they talked about? Trucks. They talked about everything but the house. Thank you. Everything but the house. They were literally like the first 3 seconds of the conversation was about the house. And then the next 10 minutes was about trucks and motors and diesel engines and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you got to build rapport. Okay? So, that's the name of the game. Okay? Filling your funnel. You have to have, the idea is you have lots of leads. Okay? And again, you might get lucky, but the idea is you're going to have a lot of contenders that are hopefully going to filter in, because not everything's going to turn into a deal. So the more you have out there, the more that you're mailing, if you're going to take a mailing campaign, the more you put into that campaign, the better your odds are. Okay? Or if you just cold call people, if you cold call 20 houses and they all say no, did you really give yourself that much of a chance? If you call 2,000 houses, you're going to be a lot better, okay? So, again, we're going to talk about if you have no money and lots of time, little money and more time, more money and no time. Okay, so if you fall into one of those buckets here, we're going to talk about, there's 4 buckets, no money and no time. I got something for you too, don't worry. Then Bear's like, yay. So, we're going to go through this here, okay? And again, it's rapport building, it's rapport building, it's rapport building. Okay, I can't tell you how much it is not about the house. Okay, it's about the person. But the house is what's leading you in to having that conversation. Okay, you're trying to solve questions. It's about them, it's not about you. You can relate to them, but you want to ultimately let them talk. You want to be talking at them. I had somebody call me one time, I think it was from like the Better Business Bureau or something like that. And she was reading from the script. And I was doing something else. I was just on the computer. And I clocked her. She went for 8 minutes. 8 minutes. She was just, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, and by the way, the Better Business Bureau is just da-da-da. And she just kept going. And I literally was just like, this is impressive. I mean, she didn't take a breath. She didn't ask me if I was still there. Are you getting this, sir? Like nothing. She was just off and away. And I ended up just hanging up. I didn't even try and end the conversation. I just hung up. And I don't even know if she kept talking, how long she kept talking. But she called me back probably 45 seconds later, which makes me think that she literally just kept going. At some point, she got like a dial tone. But anyways, she was making it about her, and all she was talking about was the Better Business Bureau and blah, blah, blah. Don't do that, okay? Don't do that. All right, so where's my no money, lots of time? Don't be afraid, it's okay. No money, a lot of time. All right. This is what I think your options are, okay? Or how I would go about doing this, okay? I would hit the ground, okay? You gotta hit the ground, okay? Whether that ground is the actual ground or the phone, you gotta hit the ground, okay? So, I'm not gonna go through every single one of these, but the gist of this is you're gonna be walking neighborhoods or driving neighborhoods, okay? You have to hit the ground, okay? You're gonna, honestly, somebody just asked me this earlier today. Right now, you need to go out in your neighborhood. You don't even have to go far. Just start in a 5-mile radius around where you live and just start walking, okay? Or start driving better. If you have a car, great. You hadn't driven here tonight, so I'm assuming you had a car. Go out, find 500 houses. And that may sound like a lot, but I promise you, just driving for dollars, if you pick a 4 or 5 block radius, it doesn't have to be that big. In most towns out here in the Inland Empire, you should be able to find 20 houses in about an hour. Okay? So to tell you to go find 500 houses isn't even a week's worth of work. Okay? Write down those houses, talk to somebody in here, call me, whatever, had a skip trace, and then start trying to find the owners of those houses. Okay? That's your option. If you don't have money to go buy a list or to go, bring money to the table to partner with somebody else, you have to do a ground game. Okay? This isn't just going to come out of nowhere and somebody's going to throw a deal in your lap. Okay? Same thing. Drive home a different way. It doesn't have to be drive home a different way. It could be from work. It could be if you are at your, at one point, I don't even know what our deal machine was up to at one point, probably 6,000 houses. Okay, we did have a driver she probably added about 2,000 of those. Okay? The other 4,000 were us going to our different projects, going to our neighbor, or excuse me, not going to our neighbors. We were going to different events, whatever, and we were in the neighborhood. We would either go early or stay later and just drive the neighborhood. Just drive the neighborhood. You probably heard me tell a story before with Caitlin and I. We're in San Diego at the San Diego RIA meeting, and we pull up to this gorgeous golf course surrounded by $2 million homes. And she's like, let's go driving for dollars. And I was like, there's not going to be anything in this neighborhood. Come on. She's like, no, let's go. I was like, all right. I shit you not, 6 houses down from the golf course. And it's overgrown weeds. There's a sign in the door saying foreclosure or the coroner's office, or I don't remember what the actual notice was. And we put it in a deal machine. Now, granted, and then we didn't go too much further. We found a couple more. So there's always stuff. You got to be on the lookout for. So don't just, if you've already spent the gas going to your friend's house or picking your kid up at soccer or whatever, spend a little bit more time to drive the neighborhood. Again, in an hour, you'll find 20 houses. There's way more out there than you think. Okay? MLS Keywords Search. You can do this yourself on Zillow. Or you can partner with some agents or realtors, and they can do it for you. Really, you're just looking for these kind of keywords. If you want to, my email will be at the end of this presentation. If you want to shoot me an email, I have a big old thing I can send you that's just straight keywords. Okay? Actually, Angela probably still has it saved from when we used to run it, so if you want to get on that list, talk to her. Okay? And if you find these houses, start reaching out to them. This is up to you. If you're not an agent, I would say don't call the agent. Try and skip trace the house and get to the owner. If you are an agent, I'll leave that one up to you. Okay? Same with expired listings. Okay? These are all things that you can do and find houses if you don't have money. Again, Okay, so expired listings. You can do this on Zillow, guys. You can find stuff on Zillow. You can use PropStream. You can use Deal Machine. I'll have some links later in here if you want to get to those. But really, you want expired stuff from like a year, to 3 years ago. Okay, you can look up properties on Property Radar or PropStream if they ever sold. Basically, you're looking for stuff that didn't sell, and you want to find out why. If it didn't sell, something happened. Especially it's California. You could do this all over, but I'm really talking about California here. If it didn't sell, there was a reason. It was either they wanted way too much money, or something happened, or whatever. But the point is that at some point they were looking to sell, and they didn't. So go find out why. Okay? See if you can help them. Maybe, yes, sir.
I was going to say, because we just did a deal that someone had tried to sell like a year before. It was a title issue.
Title issue.
Sometimes they're stuck. They can do anything.
Yep.
So,
Yep, title issue. They had too much stuff. They couldn't, they didn't have the time frame didn't work. Whatever. Or the buyer fell through at the last minute and they said, screw it, I don't want to deal with that again. I'll just stay. There's 1,000 reasons why they might not have sold. Okay, so go find out. For sale by owner listings, not just you can go to some of these websites. What does it say again? I want to sell and sold me with any offer. And then he's probably the guy who's going to be the most offended. But for sale owner, these ones are a little tough. Mostly because if they're selling by owner, it's because they're trying to not pay a realtor's fee. And so they want the most money they can get. But it's not always. Sometimes they just, an agent, screwed them over years ago and they're not over it. And they just want to do it themselves, So these are worth calling, though, just to see what's going on, see if you can make an offer. These are the people that maybe they'll be open to something more creative, okay? But it's just a phone call. And most of the time, their number's on the sign. So you don't even have to skip trace it, okay? But every single one of these numbers, even when you get a no, or they don't take your offer, the question I always tell everybody to ask is, okay, do you know anybody else that needs to sell their house? Okay? Don't ever end on a no. Okay, bye. Keep asking them questions until they hang up the phone. Okay? Old newspaper ads. Okay, I know. Anybody not know what a newspaper is? Who hasn't seen one in a while? It's funny, I subscribe to the Wall Street Journal, and they send out a digital version of the paper. Yeah, they don't print it anymore, but it's still all formatted and everything like that with the, so it feels like a newspaper. I don't think they print it anymore. They might, but it's like, $50 to get it. Yeah, it's like if you want it, you got to pay extra now. So they got to run the presses just for you. So, all right, but there's still a lot of old timers that put stuff in the ad. There's in the paper. There's still a lot of stuff that requires you put it in the paper. Okay, anybody ever registered for an LLC? Okay, where do they make you put it? In the newspaper. That doesn't mean they actually have to print it, but still. Okay, so newspapers still exist. I know, shocking. But you can go look for old rental ads in the newspaper still. Okay. Typically, there's going to be the older owners that aren't as tech savvy, and maybe they just want to get rid of it. Again, even if they don't say yes, they probably know a lot about their neighborhood, or know other landlords in the neighborhood, or some stuff you can dig up, especially if it's in an area that you're targeting. If it's in your farm that you want, it's worth the call. Okay. Same thing with Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. Okay, if you find something that didn't sell, or it's still posted long time, or just have it, I think there's a way you can set up like alerts with different Facebook, I think there's an app for your phone, and you can set up different alerts for Craigslist and Facebook, and it'll send you the listing, so you can curate it in like your email, and then just wait, like if it goes away really fast, excuse me, he might not be looking to sell, but if it's still up there after a month, call. Maybe they want to sell. Okay, again, this is if you don't have money to do other marketing. I'm giving you ways to make contact with people and ask them questions. Okay, that question doesn't just have to be, do you want to sell? Again, ask questions. If it's somewhere that you want, like in in your farm or a city that you're looking to buy stuff, tell them, hey, I want to own like in this neighborhood. Do you know anybody looking to sell? Just keep asking questions, okay? It's not gonna hurt. And it'll up your talking to people IQ, okay? Attend estate sales. Who likes shopping for antiques? Everybody does, come on, don't lie. All right, estate sales are big. And typically, the people that run estate sales, they've usually been doing it a long time, okay? I've never gone to an estate sale and met some young upcoming person that just loves doing estate sales, okay? Usually it's somebody that's been doing it a long time. They're well connected to, I don't know where they get their leads, but call them and ask, okay? Maybe they're really close with mortuaries. I honestly have no idea. But typically, like every estate sale I go to, I ask what's the family doing with the house? You know, typically, a lot of times it's already sold, and that's why they're doing an estate sale, because they need to clean it out and make a little bit more money. But again, it doesn't have to be the only question. If it's in a neighborhood that you want, start asking them questions, okay? Property management firms, okay? Not all of the property management firms out there also like to own own properties, okay? A lot of them do, and if there was a good deal, they might buy it themselves, but they might not be in a position to, okay? So they always know, like, the landlords that are looking to get rid of their stuff, or they just had a really bad renter in there. You know, so make friends with property managers. You know, that's a whole other avenue if you're interested in long-term rentals. You could start off as a property manager or working for a property management company. You know, it never hurts, okay? Estate attorneys know people. They probably know a lot of landlords. They probably know if one of them's in trouble or just wants to sell. Again, more networking, more networking. If you don't have a lot of money to pay marketing, you gotta start talking, okay? Start talking to people. Same thing, divorce bankruptcy attorneys, you know, typically they know what's going on. And typically, I mean, if people are getting divorced and they're fighting over the house, I'm talking to my neighbor right now. He's in the middle of a divorce after I've been talking to him for 4 years. I finally had him this close to accepting a seller finance offer. And then he's like, Rich, guess what? I'm getting divorced. And she wants top dollar for the property. I'm like, that bitch. No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, so, I mean, he's been on the market for a year. It's, you know, it's a mess. But I'm still going to get that house. At this point, I don't even care what I pay. I just want it because it's right next to my other house, and I've been working it for 4 years. I just want to win.
It's about the terms, give them the price.
Exactly. So, but yeah, meet as many attorneys as you can. Attorneys know a lot of people, okay? And they know who's in trouble and who needs to get out of these houses quickly, okay? Insurance broker. Insurance brokers. Why would you want to know insurance brokers? She's not here. I was going to say other than they're cute. But she went to that. Why would you want to know insurance brokers?
Because they know what their customers are doing.
They know what their customers are doing? Okay. You think, who's the first person who's the first call if your house burns down or something bad happens to your house? Who's usually your first call? The claim center. You want to know if the insurance is going to cover it, or your agent. A lot of people usually call their agent because they're like, I don't even have the claims number, you know. So they're usually calling their agent first. Okay, so insurance brokers know a lot of people. Caitlin knows every single person in Crestline. Okay, because her mom runs the insurance company up there, and she's an insurance agent and has worked it also. And she knows everybody by last name because they had a policy at some time, or they caught a quote, or whatever. So know your insurance broker, or talk to your insurance. Hey, you know anybody that's maybe looking to sell? You know, things happen all the time, okay? Hard money lenders. Not just to borrow money from them, but a lot of them are the first ones to know when a project's in trouble. Carl just posted a house in Running Springs in the Facebook group, which for those of you members out there that are not in the Facebook group, we have a private Facebook group for members only. Some people missed the email. Okay, so look in your email, there's a link to get into it. But Carl just posted it in that, yesterday?
I think it's yesterday.
Yeah, there's a house in Running Springs that they were just building it from the ground up, and who knows, the guy ran out of money, whatever, it's half built, he's trying to get rid of it. Okay? So now wholesalers got it and trying to wholesale it. Do you think the hard money lender knew that he was probably in trouble? Who do you think he probably stopped paying first? Or if not first, quickly, when he thought he wasn't going to be able to fix the house anymore, he's probably not giving money to our money lender anymore. So, or maybe he is. I don't really know the guy's situation. But the point is, hard money lenders, when people stop making their payments, most hard money lenders do not want the house. They became hard money lenders because they made a lot of money somewhere else, or they were flippers, and they realized that they should be the one lending the money instead of doing all the work on the ground. Okay? So get to know your hard money lenders, not only to borrow money, but also as a lead source. Okay? Locksmiths, same thing. Any of these people that go around the neighborhoods and know people, know neighborhoods and know people. Okay? The locksmith that just got called because the landlord, the house has been vacant for 20 years and they lost the key. Think he knows which house that was? Usually. And if you ever had a locksmith come to your house and you felt secure in your belongings before the locksmith came, if you're one of those people that are paranoid about your house and your belongings, like, don't trust your doorknob. I mean, they come in, it's like, and they're in your house. Like, call Lee, get an alarm system, and then get a pit bull too or something. So, abatement and preservation companies, again, they know people that are, that are having problems. Maybe just because they already did the work doesn't mean that people can still keep the house. A lot of times somebody has to come out of pocket, and now their savings have dwindled from other reasons they can't keep the house. Okay, so again, networking. If you don't have money, this is the longest part of the presentation because there's the most options for you if you don't have money. This is how you're going to go find leads. Okay? You're talking to people. Estate sale companies. I feel like I had that one on here already. Estate sales again. Finder's fees. If I didn't mention this, when you're talking to these people, tell them I buy houses, I buy problems, I solve problems, I pay referrals. That's a big one. People like money. You like money? Louis, you like money?
I love it.
Cynthia? Money? I like money. Yeah, fair? Yeah? You like money too?
I do, but I also have a question.
All right, what's the question?
When you're offering this finder's fee, how do you decide what the finder's fee is supposed to be? Is there
I'd tell anywhere between like $500 and $5,000, depending on what the lead is and how to close the deal.
Is that the same for somebody who you get to be your bird dog?
Yeah.
Okay, so 500 and 5,000.
The question is that somebody, what do you tell people for a finder's fee, which is like anywhere between $500 and $5,000, and then it's the same thing that you tell your bird dog people, and the answer would be yes. Okay, it just depends on the deal. If we make 5,000 on it, it's probably going to be 500. If we make 50,000 on it, it's probably going to be closer to 5. It just depends. Okay, but the point is you tell people this up front so that they know. Like, I pay referrals, okay? And pay the damn referral. Don't be that person that somebody gets you a deal and you don't pay them, okay? You're gonna get the opposite of what you want real fast, okay? Somebody introduced me, the mobile home that I bought in Crestline, he introduced me to that. I don't even think I told him that I gave referrals back then, but he introduced me to that park manager 2.5 years ago, something like that. They finally called me. And I handed him $500 at the bowling alley the next time I saw him. And then somebody else saw me hand him that $500 and started asking me what it was. So I got to tell them that I pay referrals on people that, so and they're like, wow, that's really cool. I didn't know people still do that. That's good job. So that one was cool. All right, antique secondhand stores. ET looks good there. Again, a lot of networking, talk to people. Okay, just talk to people in your everyday activities. Okay, whether you're shopping for grandma's clothes or you're eating Chipotle. Talk to people, okay? AC companies, I'm gonna kind of run through some of this here. AC companies, again, they know whose air conditioner just got stolen. Air conditioners are some of the highest theft items out there right now, okay? Actually, that was when we put the air conditioner on the roof and we went up on the roof unauthorized here, which I didn't know that I was supposed to ask, to be perfectly honest with you. And Andy and I are crawling up the ladder on the side, and they come over like screaming at us. It's because they've had multiple air conditioners stolen, so they're hyper aware of it. So, but guess who the HVAC guys know? Okay, they know everybody that, and maybe that owner, they were in there replacing the air conditioner, but they know that owner's in trouble. Ask them. Again, you gotta ask. They're not just gonna volunteer this information to you. You have to ask and let it be known to everybody you know what you do and what you're looking for, okay? FedEx, UPS, Postal Service. I was just talking to Samantha. Where is she? There she is. I was just talking to her about that, okay? So there's a book. I didn't put it in there. Tom Nardone. Tom Nardone wrote a book, $1 Million Mailman. Okay, he was a mailman for, 30 years. And he built his real estate empire off his postal route. Okay? And part of it is how he made allies with all of the other postal workers. Okay? So you can do that too. Who's got a UPS driver that shows up with an Amazon box every day? It's just me? Well, like Mondays and Tuesdays are Amazon, Wednesdays usually like Temu, and then Thursdays like Costco. So, but talk to the postal carriers, your delivery guys. Okay, they know every single house. They're on these routes. They are literally driving for dollars every day. Okay, any service businesses, talk to people in the neighborhood. Okay, all these people, they know what the inside of these people's houses look like. They know the people that are struggling. Okay. Talk to them, tell them you pay referrals. And this goes for everybody, by the way. I'm just putting this in a part of the presentation that if you don't have a lot of money, this is how you network and look for deals, okay? And again, make sure you tell them that you pay a finder's fee. Okay, same thing with food delivery drivers, Uber, pizza guys, pretty much anything, repo companies. I'm gonna go through some of this stuff a little faster. Again, people in the neighborhoods, okay? Check cashing, pawn shops. They know who's pawning grandma's ring for, make their mortgage payment, or there's something else habit that's worse, and they probably have other problems too. Okay? Bail bond companies. All right. So that's it. That was how I would start networking your face off if you have a little bit of money. Okay? That's really, to be honest with you guys, if you don't have any money but you got lots of time, pick something. Pick 3 of those things and go do it, okay? Because if you don't have money, then you're not going to be able to afford to do some of this other stuff, okay? And as soon as you get a deal, then immediately take that money and put it back into your marketing so that you can do less networking and then set up your systems like this, okay? So if you have a little bit of money and you have a lot of time, or a little bit of money and a little time, okay, so the point is you have a little bit of money that you can put into marketing or basically marketing, your marketing systems, okay? So who again was, you got a little bit of money and a lot or a little time, okay? A few people, good? Bandit signs, okay? Bandit signs are pretty cheap to make. I would even say if you have no money, go find some Amazon boxes. Come to my house on Mondays and Tuesdays. And I'll give you all my Amazon boxes, okay? Cut them out, write on them, big Sharpies, okay? Go buy, some poster board from Staples, whatever. They don't have to be fancy. They're not going to last long anyways, okay? Whether you buy them or make them, they get taken down pretty quick some of the time. So you can write them yourself. If you have a little bit more money and you want to put money into it, you can go to a website like, I think it's dirtcheapsigns.com. Again, that's dirtcheapsigns.com. Dirt Cheap Signs, if you get a sale, you can send us a referral fee here. We'll take it. And they'll do them for you, okay? And you can make them pink, you can make them black, you can make them white, you can make them turquoise, whatever you want, whatever you think is going to stand out. Take a look at your neighborhood. If your neighborhood's blanketed in yellow signs with black writing, you might want to switch it up a little bit. Okay? If people are already wise to that and they're all pink signs with white writing, then put up the yellow ones. Okay? So when we did this, we had a white version and a yellow version. And we did like the white ones in all color, and then we did the yellow ones in black and white. And so the point is that bandit signs have a lot of flexibility depending on how much money you have. You could order 100, you could order 1,000, you could make them whatever you want. Okay? These seem to be, for at least in my experience, seem to be more effective outside of like mobile home parks or around mobile homes. In the neighborhoods, depending on the neighborhood, they tend to get taken down a lot faster. That's just has been my experience. Okay. Flyers. Okay, if you don't have money, let's say you have a little bit of money, you can get these made, but you don't want to spend a ton of money on mailing them. Okay, while you're driving for dollars, while you're walking the neighborhoods, while you're doing all this stuff, just have a flyer ready, or a door hanger, or a business card, something you can leave on people's. So you don't have to sit there and write a note, which you can sit there and write a note. Does have the personal touch, right? Or you can just leave yourself a blank spot like that to write in, hey, I liked your house, give me a call, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you don't have to spend the money on the mailing. Same with yellow letters, okay? So these ones you can get pre-made, and you can get them to look more like a handwritten letter versus just a postcard if you want a little bit more personal touch, but you don't want to sit there writing every single one. Okay, they got these little fancy machines, and you can buy these. I don't remember how much they are, but you can buy them. It's like this little hand that has a pen in it, and it'll write out letters for you. Okay, that's probably if you have a little bit more than a little bit money. I don't think they're that cheap. But again, this is stuff that you can do cheaply, or you can spend a lot more money on it and do it a lot more. Okay. Homes in foreclosure. For a little bit of money, you can start using stuff like Deal Machine or PropStream. Okay, there's a link to Deal Machine on there. Deal Machine is I think there's a slide for it. Deal Machine is basically an app that kind of acts a lot like Google Maps, except you can save the houses that you drive by. And I think their base package right now is like, I don't know, $60 a month. So, and then you have to pay per mailing. But you can use it just to record all of if you're driving for dollars, you don't have to send the mailers. Okay, you can just use it as a CRM system or a tracking system. Because also what gets tough with driving for dollars sometimes is you're in a neighborhood, you drive down 3 streets, and then you drive down the 4th one, and you're like, I feel like I've driven down this one before. Like, within 50 houses, every single one starts looking the same. Okay? So Deal Machine tracks. You can turn on driving mode, and it'll track in the neighborhood where you've gone, so you don't lose your damn mind trying to figure out where you've been. Okay, but you can go to that website. I think you get like 15 free mailers or a free trial or something like that. Okay, but Deal Machine again is something. A lot of these, what I'm talking about, when you have a little money, you can scale them as you grow. Okay, but you can get started for a little bit of money. Okay, liens and judgments. You can find these on PropStream. I don't know if Deal Machine will help you out too much. PropStream's another one where you can use it as a list building software that's got that link you can use. And it's better for list building, okay? So you can sit there and click, I want this, I want that, high equity, low equity, whatever you're looking for, older owners, out-of-state owners, absentee owners, you can just plug all those in, and it'll give you a nice interface to list all those properties. So you can put in anybody that has liens, you can do a lien search, that kind of stuff. And then I think it's got some built-in skip tracing also. So Deal Machine's more for like you can pull lists in Deal Machine, but it's not as nice, okay? If you just want to pull lists on specific things, use PropStream, okay? If you want to go out and drive for dollars and use it as a CRM and start saving stuff, Deal Machine I think is a better one. And I think PropStream's like $80 a month. It's a little bit pricier, but it's got a lot of functionality. I think you can even send postcards out of it now if you want to, okay? And same thing, divorce bankruptcy records, you can do that in PropStream, I believe. You can also go to this website called Revoke Gateway. They have some stuff there. Or you can just, again, go talk to a bankruptcy attorney. Bankruptcy and divorce, or basically bankruptcy especially, I don't know about divorce, but bankruptcy is public record, okay? So as soon as somebody files for BK, it becomes public record, okay? So you can pull lists like that on PropStream or other places. What was the one we used to use all the time for list building? Somebody asked me the other day, and I just could not think about it.
For lists in the beginning,
Yeah,
we
just-
list source.
Was it Listsource?
Listability was one.
Listability.
And we used Revo Gateway for a while too.
Okay, listability and list source. So those, I think it was listability. I
Listability.com.
think listability was the one where you get really good data, but the interface is like
Yeah.
ancient. Like if you missed the internet of like 1998, it's right there waiting for you in listability. Okay, but great and super cheap too. A lot of these systems that are more advanced, and you're paying for that interface. Okay, the listability stuff, I think they're per like item or whatever was a lot cheaper, but you really couldn't manipulate or like just if you like, for example, if you do a search and you want to add one more thing to it, you got to like rebuild the whole search. Whereas PropStream, you can just click another button and it'll like refresh the list for you. Okay, so pick your heart, I guess. Notices of abatement. You can pull the doc, so if you see those notices on people's houses, you can pull those doc numbers, then have the title search done. I haven't actually done this yet, okay, but I saw it on someone else's presentation, and I thought it was a good idea. So, okay, now let's say you're deal hunting with more money, but you don't have as much time, okay? A lot of these were going to be kind of the same thing, but this is when pay-per-click comes in. Who's interested in pay-per-click? Okay, pay-per-click, for those of you that don't know what it is, pay-per-click is like if you want to run Google Ads, okay, or you want to do like SEO, that kind of stuff, if you've heard those terms flying around. Pay-per-click is a lot of work, okay, but you can pay people to do it for you. Okay, there's a lot of out-of-the-box options. I didn't put it in this presentation, but if you go to the club sponsor page and you go to the bottom and you click carrot, there's a logo with a carrot on it. That's what we've been using for years for our website. And it's funny, I don't know what I did years ago, but we've been getting a bunch of leads off the website lately. And so whatever I did for SEO, I haven't touched the website in like 5 years. Okay, but all these things started, and I asked people like, where did you find out about us? And they're like, I just Googled it and your website came up. I was like, cool. Because I thought whatever we did years ago was probably wrong years ago, but somehow they changed the algorithm and now we're like right. So I'm good with it. So anyways, you can set up multiple landing pages. A lot of that stuff that's a whole week-long course on pay-per-click and how to do that successfully. Okay, it's not cheap. If you do go into a pay-per-click thing, find someone reputable that's actually used it in the real estate space. If you're really thinking about it, come find me. I'll point you in the right direction. Okay, but this stuff can bleed you dry quickly. Okay, but if you can figure it out and do it right, it can be very, very lucrative. Okay, because it's basically stuff working while you're not. And again, Deal Machine, I'm going to plug again because Deal Machine, you can scale. Okay, so again, if you want to take it to the next level, at one point we were spending about like $3,000 to $5,000 a month on Deal Machine. So you can go all the way from $60 a month all the way up to, you can spend $50,000 a month on Deal Machine if you really wanted to. If you really want to grow your team and get a lot of leads in there and a lot of incoming calls and all that stuff, you can scale Deal Machine up to whatever you need it to be. Okay? Lead gen companies, you can hire cold callers, and there are lead gen companies that are specifically geared towards doing real estate leads. Okay, they're not cheap. The last time I ever looked into one, it was like $1,000. The base package was like $1,000 a month. Okay, but again, if you don't have any time and you just want to, and you have money that you can spend on cold callers, or you can train your own VAs. If you're at that level and you can train your own VAs to do it for you, that is one way. If you have never closed a deal or you've only done like one or two, and you're trying to train your own VAs, I wouldn't go there yet. Okay, I think you probably need to have at least like 10 to 20 deals under your belt before you can confidently train your VAs to the proper way to do what you do. Okay, But there's people that have already done it, they've trained them, and they'll basically, you tell them, I want leads somewhere, and they'll just set the people on it, okay? What I don't know about those companies, I don't know if there's any exclusivity. I have no idea if they're just, you pay them, and the next guy comes along and gives them the same name, and then, oh, we just did that. Here's the same 20 leads. I have no idea, okay? You have to do that at your own education. But the options are out there, okay? And wholesalers, wholesalers can be great. They can be not great, okay? But I would still recommend, when I say if you have a lot of money or more money, I put the wholesalers in the more money part, is that you are typically going to pay a premium for somebody finding you that deal, okay? That's why we all talk about, especially in Firefast we went through, we're giving you, you want to know wholesalers, you want to talk to them, because you want to see what kind of markets they're doing. For one, you want to keep your ear to the ground kind of thing. But you also want to know them, if you really need a deal, they are out there. Sometimes the deals are better than others. Sometimes they might not even actually pencil, okay? But the point is that you almost always are going to pay a premium because they are taking that fee out of the whole idea is to get to that seller, and if the seller wants $200,000, you want to pay him $200,000. But if somebody else is doing all the work, and then they give that to you for $220 or $250 or $75 for a mobile home, whatever, that you're gonna pay for it. But you didn't have to go find the deal. You didn't have to pay for all that marketing, all that time. It could have been the 4 years that they've been talking to the neighbor. You didn't have to do any of that. So when you write that big wholesale check, keep that in mind. Okay? Did you have a question there?
Yeah, just curious on how the wholesalers get the deals. Same thing that you've outlined, or
All this. Yep, they're all doing all this. They have armies. Some of them are just one-off, mom and pop shops. Some of them are full-on firms that all they do is wholesale. The more overhead somebody has, the more you're going to charge for it. Somebody, I think it was it Pete? It was either Pete or John. They were talking, I think it might have been Pete last year. But they want to find, when you're hiring contractors, okay, you want to find the guy like with the beat up truck that's just him. Okay, maybe he's got a couple guys that he works for. You don't want the guy that's got a brand new truck with a fleet of guys around him with new trucks. Okay, because his overhead, or the guy advertising in the paper or the pay-per-click, he's got overhead he's got to pay. Okay? The guy that's just working for himself and has his 20-year-old paid-off truck, he doesn't have the overhead on it. Most of the time his rates are going to be cheaper than the guy who's got to pay, for all the nice stuff. Okay? So same with the wholesalers. If it's just just somebody like me that just doesn't have the bandwidth and I'm just wholesaling the property, I'm probably more likely to sell that at a reasonable price versus somebody else that's got 10 agents working under them trying to wholesale properties and they got a lot of salary to pay. Okay? Does that answer your question? Okay. Any other questions on wholesalers? Just be careful. Okay? Make sure stuff pencils. Thing about wholesalers, a lot of wholesalers love to cherry pick comps and make stuff look better than it is. Okay? So always pull your own comps and make sure that, like a big one up in my neck of the woods, every time I get a deal that's in Crestline or Twin Peaks or one of the surrounding areas, they'll always pull comps from Lake Arrowhead. And in Lake Arrowhead, they got a thing called lake rights to Lake Arrowhead. It's a private lake. Those lake rights automatically add like $100,000 to the price of any similar comped home. And then on top of that, people pay a premium to be in Arrowhead. Okay, so if you're in, make sure they're not pulling, if you're in a house in Riverside, make sure they're not pulling comps from like Eastvale or like, Loma Linda or whatever. I don't know what's close to here. What am I thinking of? What's the one right above us, the new town? Harupa. Thank you. So be very aware of comps, okay? Just make sure you're running your own comps, doing your due diligence, and please make sure that you call. If you get something you want to buy on wholesale, call somebody in the club, me, whoever, that can double check the deal, okay? Before you put down a $15,000 non-refundable EMD, okay? Fire damage properties, and I put this one on here. These are not for the faint of heart, okay? And I'm talking like partially burned or fully burned properties, not just a little kitchen fire. Stuff that were parts that you can see, you know, there's skylights in the roof that aren't supposed to be there. Okay? Like stuff that's got some serious, and I put that in the if you have more money column because you better have a lot of money. Okay? And you better know what you're doing to do a fire damaged property. It's a lot harder. Okay, there's just a lot more. You are absolutely going to be having inspectors crawling all over you, to every little detail, all that stuff. Okay, and to wrap this up, who's got no money and no time? Okay, I got one option for you. Anybody want to guess what it is? Partner, JV. Where do you think? Okay, where do you think you can do that?
Find a deal.
You better be at Exchangers every Wednesday. Okay, and either talking to people, using your haves and wants. I'm going to go into that in a second. Remind me if I skip over that, but using your haves and wants, talking to people, seeing what kind of deals are being made. If you're brand new, you have no money and no time, you need to just sit on this meeting and just watch what people are doing. Okay? Learn how deals are done, how they're put together, the negotiation that goes back and forth, all of that stuff. Okay? That meeting is pretty much free, comes with your membership. Okay? It's one of the best education tools you're going to get, and you'll start to get a feel for how to do deals. Okay? And eventually, hopefully, do one yourself. Okay? Or partner, or offer, hey, I don't have any time, I don't have any money, but I painted houses for 5 years. Or I did something and I would like to come in and paint this house as part of the deal. You don't have to pay me anything. And I'll get into a deal that way. Okay? Options are limited with no time or money, but they're out there. Okay? And remember, you guys got to remember this point when you're talking to sellers. Okay? I feel like a lot of people in Firefast 2 and both Firefast sessions that we've done try and go for the low-hanging fruit of properties that are already listed, okay? And trying to force a deal out of something that is really tough to do. Because once things go to the market, once they go on the MLS, unless they're sitting there for a year or 6 months or whatever, long enough that everybody else has been like, forget it, and given up. If it hit the market a week ago, you are too late. Okay? You're too late. Like, jump on the phone, start talking to other people, forget it. Okay? We are looking for distressed sellers. We're not looking for sellers. We're not looking for people that just want to say, you call up and like, yeah, I'm going to sell my house. It's brand new, I just redid everything. I want top of the market for it. Okay? Someday you will be able to maybe, if you're brand new, maybe turn that into a deal somehow. Okay? If you're brand new, that's going to be a tough one. Okay? We're looking for people that have a problem to solve. Okay? And you are going to be this problem solver. Okay? If they're just solely just want to sell and the house is in good shape and they just want to live, they're most likely going to call their aunt or their niece or whoever that's an agent and list it on the market. Okay? We want people that have a problem. And what is a problem? We got examples of some problems? Divorce? Behind on taxes? Probate?
Job.
Loss of job? Family getting bigger? Downsizing, inherited house they don't want? Bad tenants?
Don't have money to fix it up.
Don't have money to fix it up? Maybe they don't have insurance? Something bad happened? Okay? Just that they want to sell does not make them a motivated seller. Okay? You guys have to be able to differentiate between the two. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to get sucked into having a conversation for hours and weeks with somebody that is never going to get to the point that you want to get them to. Because they don't need you. Okay? You need to find people that need you. And if they don't need you, ask them, do they know anybody else wanting to sell their house? And move on to that person. Okay? Or if they tell you, I might want to sell in 5 years and blah, blah, blah. Sure, stay in touch with them, put them in your CRM system, follow up. But Don't get sucked into people that are just going to sell their house, most likely sell their house retail. Unless you are an agent and you want, or you somehow want to offer your agent services to them, or you know somebody and want to give somebody like a referral, absolutely, okay? But just don't get sucked into trying to force a deal, trying to force a square peg to a round hole? Yeah. Okay? You want somebody that has a problem, okay? Distressed sellers. Okay, and again, what will tell you this, if they are distressed, is why would you want, just ask Pete's line, why would you want to sell a house such as this? Okay? And they will tell you why. And if it's divorce, any of those things we talked about, keep asking questions. If it's, I just want to sell because I want to move and I'll probably just list it on the market. You can probably a little bit more, but don't try and force them to accept $200,000 less because you need a deal. Okay? Yes, sir.
And don't believe the reasoning on their why are they selling a house such as this the first time, because a lot of people will lie.
Yeah.
They will. So you
Yeah.
ask several times. And you'll
So don't
find
trust people's first answer
Yeah.
because a lot of people lie. Okay, if you know for sure, like if you pulled a list that was for foreclosures and this guy's just like, yeah, I'm good. Like, do you know your house is going to auction in 3 weeks? Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, seriously.
It happens. It's sometimes it's tough. Most people are gonna, if they're in that situation, they're probably gonna open up a little bit. But there are ones that just bury their head in the sand and keep trying. But if they don't ever open the door, some people just have their eyes shut until the sheriffs are kicking them out. Unfortunately, that happens too. So just use your time wisely, okay? All right. Any questions? No, I covered everything. All right. Yes, sir.
Can a lot of these work for other asset classes other than residential?
Other asset classes other than residential? Like commercial?
Commercial, yeah, land.
Yeah, I typically focus on single family, or single family, multifamily, or multi-units, sorry. So I'm generally calling homeowners, or talking to homeowners. But yes, I would think that any of these apply to, commercial owners have the same problems, or can have the same problems. Multifamily owners can have the same problems. Apartment owners can have the same problems. Mobile home park owners can have the same problems. Everybody's got problems, So, good question. Any others? Yes, sir, Rafa.
Yeah, how would you handle a caller that is just spit-firing questions at you? Because I know earlier you said ask a question and let them talk. What if they're
spit-firing questions at you, what do?
Yeah, like
They called you or you called them?
they called you.
Okay.
Right? They call you and say, "Yeah, I hear you want to buy my house. Why do you want to buy my house? Are you an investor? How much are you trying to make off of me? What's the percentage? Like, how do you approach that?"
Yeah, a lot of times I've gotten to realize that those people aren't, for whatever reason, they just want to bust your balls. And a lot of times they're not the distressed seller you're looking for. People that have a problem that are having a hard time solving it usually aren't going to be that aggressive. Okay, so when I call people and they're like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll sell my house. What do you pay?" Just say $1 million. I'll make you, $1,000 a month for 100 years. And that usually throws them off enough, like, what? Like you want to try and break them out of that I guess mindset. Yes, sir.
When you do have someone that's asking the million questions, another thing is you can kind of say, okay, and interject with, well, if I decide to buy your house, you're immediately pulling the rug out from underneath them.
Yeah.
They're going, hey, you may not fit. For many people, we're the best solution. Many times we're not. And once I, talk to you a little bit more and find out about, we may decide we might have to pass on your house. And that
absolutely
changes a lot of the tone, but Rich is right. Otherwise, a lot of those people, they're just, they're trying to get info and, they really don't want to make a decision too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I like to throw them off. I try and, so this is part of I try and stay away from price as long as possible.
Right.
Okay, and some people just want an answer. And I'd be like, dude, honestly, I can tell you. If I told you I wanted to sell my car right now, and I told you what it was, would you be able to give me a definite price without seeing it? No, probably not. Well, I would need to see your house. Like, I don't remember every single house that I've ever sent a postcard to, or, so you can diffuse them. But if all they're interested in arguing with you, typically they're not,
Gotcha.
You have a number, it works, and he's the owner of the house, so put it aside, call him back in 6 months. Also, you made me think of something else too. For years, we had people, when people call in and ask me to take them off their list, okay, we'd send deal machine postcards out, and people would call in all the time. I don't want to sell my house. Stop sending me these postcards.
Well, they call it now.
Well, guess what they gave you? Their phone number, and they what? Also,
They called you.
they called me, but what did that confirm? That they own the house, and your data and your postcard and everything was right. Okay? And so keep track of that list, call that list back. Okay? Because now you have a real number that goes to somebody. A lot of these skip tracing numbers aren't going to work. If it was that easy to just grab 100 houses, skip trace them, and you got the direct line, and hey, you want to sell your house? Yeah, great. Okay, I'll give you $200,000 on the market value. Great. It's it's a little bit tougher than that. Okay. All right. Any other questions? I'm going to wrap this up here.
Something about haves and wants?
Anybody? Yes. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Haves and wants. All right, guys. So those of you who come to exchangers a lot, I know it can be a little intimidating to get up in front of the room. Haves and wants is something that we used to do at the Mission Inn. Okay, we used to, when the club used to meet one time a month, and that was it. Okay, so we did like a 30-minute break in the middle of the meetings, and everybody got up in a long line around the Mission Inn and came up and did their haves and wants. Okay, and it was basically the point of haves and wants is to get people to know like what you want or what you have. I mean, I know that's pretty self-explanatory, but it is your chance to get in front of the club and tell people what you want. Okay, we moved that to exchangers because doing it at every single meeting was getting a little stale. Okay, but we still have it in exchangers. So if you're new, it's your chance to tell people and introduce you to people. I can't go around the room and give everybody their own thing every single meeting. Okay, but haves and wants. So if you're coming to exchangers, not enough people use their haves and wants anymore. Okay, and that's probably my fault because we don't really get up and say it anymore. But I'm saying it now. Use your haves and wants. Tell people what you want or where you live, what kind of deals you're looking for. You want to, Tracy was talking about MTRs today, okay? And she got 3 people, immediately jump in. You have to tell people. And if you're afraid to tell people what you do at a haves and wants full of people in the room that all want to do exactly the same thing, you're going to have problems talking to people, okay? So get over it. Get in front of people, take your haves and wants, and use it as to kind of just get yourself a little bit more confident on talking in front of people. Because I know it's intimidating in talking to these sellers, but you need to be able to do it. Otherwise, you're going to pay out the ass from a wholesaler that can't have that conversation with people. And if you have the money to be able to play that game, there you go. Okay, but use your haves and wants. Okay, it's very important. Okay, and so. Who's heard of John Shaw? Okay, it's about half the room. Okay, if you haven't heard of John Shaw, John pretty much wrote the book on the whole strategy that I've used, and a lot of people in this club have used, to become financially independent. Okay? And that's a very simple, yet somehow it's gotten really complicated strategy of buying one house at a time and turning them into rentals. Okay? And if you want to learn more about, I learned this all from John, not all from John or solely from John, but a lot of it from John. Okay? And again, it's something that seems so easy. You're like, what could he possibly talk about for 2 whole days that he says it right there, one house at a time. That's it. I got it, right? I promise you, John's been doing this for 40 years. Every time I hear him speak, I'm always like, oh yeah. Oh shit, I didn't think of that. Or I remember him saying that the last time when I saw him 2 years ago, and I still haven't done it. Like, I think it's like almost imperative if you are new, or even if you've been around for a little while, and because you get into this game sometimes, and you get your like 5th house or your 5th deal or whatever, and you might get a little lost, okay? And you're not really sure like how to dial it in or build out the systems or just keep it going. And like if you somehow go down the wholesaling route, you end up feeling like you have a job and you're making all this money, but you're not growing your wealth. Like John's a dude who's gonna basically give you a blueprint, okay? And he hasn't taught this specific class. He does a class every year with Pete, but they talk about market stuff, okay? He hasn't done this class in like 8 or 9 years, and he hasn't been in California since 2019.
And that was co-teaching with Pete. So.
And that was co-teaching with Pete. So I got every RIA in Southern California asking me how I got John out here. And the answer is, I kept calling him. Okay? I kept calling him and kept asking, and he finally said yes. Something to do with having 170 people come out to see Pete at the Marriott last year probably had something to do with it also. But I didn't take no for an answer. I kept calling him and telling him, hey, you know what we got going on down here? Like, we have our own place, okay? What other RIA in the country? I think there's one other RIA in the country that has their own facility, okay? I think that's Arizona. Even Ohio, the largest RIA in the country, does not have their own building. So this is a big deal that we have this and that John's coming. So take full advantage of it. Again, if you haven't, all the early bird tickets are gone already, but you still get a $135 discount as a member. Okay, and I don't know if John is going to come out here next year. Something tells me if we can max it out, he will. But if not, I don't know. Okay, so if you want to do that, get on it. Okay, it's ieic.org/SHOB24. Okay, and we are going to do. A lot of people have asked me, well, just the 2-day classes we're doing here. We are going to do like a networking on Saturday night. Okay, so we're going to basically turn this into tribe building for the attendees of the event. Only the attendees of the event. It's not going to be, nobody else will be allowed here. Okay, and we'll push all the tables out. We'll have the bar, and we'll have like a 2 or 3 hour networking thing just for the people in this class. And people, Andy told me today, there's like 3 or 4 people coming out from Ohio. The NorCal guys are coming again. The San Diego guys are coming up. Everyone on the West Coast is going to be coming to see John, and there's only 100 tickets. Okay, so there you go. And we got one also coming soon that we're working on. Caitlin, why don't you come up here? And tell us what else we're working on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, wait.
Hi, good evening,
Is it
everybody.
working?
It's kind of low.
Okay, you pump us up. There we go.
So I wanted to thank everybody for being here and thank everybody for being a member of the tribe that Rich has put together, and it's a lot, and so we wouldn't be here without him. And so we have some important news to share with you guys. We wanted to tell everybody here that we wanted to introduce you to our newest member that will be joining us in October.
So yeah,
and we wanted to, and everybody's invited to the baby shower that will be happening in July.
Yep. So
everybody's invited.
Yep. July 27th is what we're shooting for.
Yeah, the 27th.
So look out for the email. We're gonna do a big baby shower here.
We're gonna do a baby shower.
So we'd love to have you all out.
Yeah.
Invite whoever you want. We're gonna fill this kid's retirement fund in one day.
Yes. We'll be raffling off also a ticket to Pete. So there's just gonna be a lot of fun stuff. So yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. It's gonna be a good time.
Appreciate you guys.
So
we're excited.
So if you want to get a hold of me, again, if you want to check out, keep an eye out on your email for the baby shower date. And if you want to get a hold of me, that's my phone number. My goal this year is to do deals with more club members. Okay, so if you have something, or you're out there working, or hitting the ground, or talking to people, and somebody says yes, and you don't know what to do with it from there, need help closing it, whatever, flipping it, give me a call. Okay, and again, just keep an eye on the email. And thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next week.